Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue our exploration of three-character Chinese formations in November. Today is a famous, people call it a cyber lingo because it's the creativity from people online, everyday people. Like nobody knows the original, the first user, the author of this expression. But it became a thing, and because it's the internet age, so people can really see new things fast, and the stardom of a new expression can be reached in a shorter period of time than pre-internet age. Okay, so 活久见 is one such superstar that by the first look, it doesn't make any sense. I understand it through context, and also I have to check it up online for people to explain to me what exactly that is, because we definitely never have seen the three such Chinese characters combined together. It's not grammatically correct at all. But once it's explained, then you understand, wow, it's it's such an efficient way to express a sort of complex idea. We kind of simplification of we shorten a full sentence with just three important words or characters from the sentence, and then super condensed the meaning into three characters. 活久见 means you live long enough, like live long enough, then you have seen it all. So nothing would easily impress you, surprise you anymore because you've lived long enough. It kind of addresses to the phenomenon of it's such a diverse word. Things extremely good or bad in whatever dimension could have happened. Nothing is really surprising anymore. That's 活久见. Okay. 活 means live, right? 活 has this water sign on the left, and the mouth symbol and the symbol means low. Okay, the symbol means low. It's a little bit harder to explain. I don't exactly know the language creators' thinking process of how to create this shape to mean it's low, except that over here is kind of a pointing downward. So it's, original meaning of this character means kind of a lineage or bloodline, because in Chinese, there is distinction of you're the official married wife versus you're just paid for mistresses. Paid for means paying the mistress parent. So I guess the rich man back then can have multiple women, and the wife, who is established probably supposedly from similar social economic stratification, then the mistresses are simply women for pleasure, I guess, or women for getting more children. And this character means that second class, so to speak, women in the household. And these pointing downward, I guess, is kind of visually signifies the status of this mistress in the household. It's lower than the wife. Okay, and then with the mouth symbol, some scholar says that means crafted speaking, because if you are in a lower power position, I guess you have to be very careful of what you say, because you can get easily punished, easily get a negative feedback if you don't use your word carefully. And that's kind of crafted words expression, and or we can view it as lower means combined with water symbol means water flowing lower to some mouths, I guess. But the whole thing means live, because live, it's something that keeps moving, and water keeps moving. and water will always flowing to the lower position, right? Go lower and eventually flowing to some, I guess, mouth. Okay, not super convincing theory, but that's Chinese interpretation. That's my current at the moment interpretation of what live is. So live, I guess in Chinese philosophy, is live like a water. You just run through your natural course, going always toward the lower ground, which is gravity pull. That's your natural force, and live like that, I guess. Okay, 久, it means long. Okay, this is a revelation that in the very, very early morning, right after I finish my REM sleep in my semi-conscious, but still like a creative mode of my brain, I make the connection of this character and this character. It's like happened because I stared down at the structure for a long time. It doesn't make sense to me why it means long. Well, this character, to understand this, we have to understand this, because I suspect whoever is a language creator, they sometimes created in a system, in a kind of in a parent. They have this character for that, the other similar looking character, but see, this part is missing on here. It's for something else. So I have to put the two together to try to understand why. Okay, this character, it means walking without lifting the feet from the floor, kind of like a moonwalk, if you say. Interesting. You will see, well, Chinese have moonwalking back then. I guess behavioral expectations of this Chinese culture on people, even how they walk. It's so strict. There are all kinds of walking or stopping or moving, walking a little bit faster, walking super faster, all variations of your moving spatially, denotations. And so this is one particular that you're walking without lifting your feet. I didn't read far enough to see if culturally that's encouraged behavior, but to me, it's probably annoying, because I would imagine ancient times, people don't really have Nike sneakers. Even they do moonwalk against the floor. It's going to be grouchy, like making screechy sound. That's not pleasant. And ancient times, most likely the footwear is made of some organic material, right? Grass is the lower class because they cannot afford anything better. The wooden ones, kind of like a Japanese, if you notice, Japanese classical costume, they have this wooden, kind of like slippers, but with a stand at the very bottom of the sole. So the feet actually are elevated on the ground. It's not touching the ground. So there is a buffer built into the shoe structure. So when they walk, it's going to be click, 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 like that. It's not a high heel kind of thing, but it's this, I believe it's, well, I've never seen up and close. I believe it's almost like a skate. You have two rows of such higher elevation wooden tiny little beam structure at the bottom of the sole. So any case, I would imagine ancient Chinese footwear kind of like that. And in another character, I have to put in more context here. This means walking, not only feet not lifted, but walking backward, backward walking. That to me probably makes more sense, because if this is kind of a two-layer, right? It's like a second stack, like an upper deck, lower deck. Okay, the lower deck is ground touching. The upper deck is where your foot is rested, because the point is to protect your feet from touching the ground and get friction, right? Get ruined faster. So you want to have your feet elevated in there. And here, this direction, pointing diagonally pointing backwards. Is, you see, if this is a heel, right? This is a toe direction. This is a heel. This is giving you the direction of walking. If you look at, observe, not the full body, you just look at the feet, where they're going. And here it shows you it's going toward the heel direction. That means backward walking. So I would argue ancient times, this not only means moonwalking, but actually means backward walking. And now without this part, that means backward unwalking, because you lost the momentum, this direction going backward toward the heel direction didn't puncture through the feet. That means the feet is not doing what it's supposed to do, the whole thing. So that means you're backward there, but you're standing in there. I have to mind you, ancient time have different behaviors because they don't live in the same world as us. For example, they sit on their heels before the invention of chair and table. So they eat through their whole dinner sitting on heels. And this backward direction without walking is probably ancient times people's standing posture that can sustain them for a long time without moving. And that is long. That means you're standing in there. They're supposed to go backward, but you're just standing there, not moving. That's long. Okay, live long and see. See, eyeball symbol, human figure. Okay, Chinese denote human figure as two legs standing being. Okay, as simple as that. And you say, well, this looks like a wave. Yes, Chinese have this human, not just like two leg stick figure. Sometimes they have a version of look like this. It has a little bit curvier right side and straighter left side to denote the two sides of us. Each of us are living on this perpetual conflict of the left and right side, or the emotional rational side of us. In any case, Chinese capture that into this two asymmetrical sides of us. And then the eyeball is simply an eye symbol, right? You will say, what's the two horizontal lines there? Okay, it's the eyeball, the very edge of your eyeball, because it's a ball. Therefore, in the context of your eye, it looks like it has two borders in there, right? It's a ball. And that's the abstraction of the eyeball. Eyeball sit on top of the human figure. That's human see, right? Because if by see, by eyeball itself, it's simply a physical capturing of the visuals, but attached to a human figure, that means it's biased see. It's human filtered see, because admit or not, everybody comes with their own past, their own experience. Therefore, whatever we see, it's not objective truth. It's filtered by your past experience already. That's what people call framing or reframe, something like that, right? So it's human see. It's not just regular, like a physical camera type of see. Okay, so 活久见 means you live long enough that have seen it all. Nothing is so surprising as this little girl had to be impressed anymore. So this is a contrast of, well, not live long enough that can easily, like, that's why we call it impressionable age, because anything happened to them that will be like eye-opening moment, because they haven't lived long enough to see it all. And this is the opposite. And I translate it as unsurprisingly. All right? Cash into the currency of thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.